So I'm really excited.
Let's go.
Um, well, I mean, your story is really cool, by the way. It's really like you're going, you. I don't know why. I feel like it's very similar to what I'm going, and that's why I feel like this is going to be a really cool conversation.
Oh,
Uh,
nice.
so you're okay. First of all, can you introduce yourself if you don't mind?
Yes, my name is Ramin Sohrab. I'm a Finnish Iranian action movie director, martial artist, whatever you want to call it. But action is what I do. I love filming action, but like I would say, action filmmaker.
Okay, okay. And you were born in Tehran.
Yes, I was born in Tehran and raised in Finland. We moved there when I was like 4 or 5 years old, and yeah, so it's like a Middle Eastern Scandinavian mix.
That's a good mix.
Yeah,
That's,
that's good. That's good.
many will say it's a good mix. So,
Yes.
right when you left Tehran, I was 8 when I left Georgia.
Oh, uh, like so, Georgia. When did you left Georgia? 19.
1992.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
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 that's
yeah.
that was yeah, that's a good and you moved straight to Canada, right?
No, no, we moved to Israel, and then I moved to Canada now.
Nice, nice. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. It's
But
been
similar path, coming from
yeah.
Middle East and then going somewhere totally opposite, cold,
Cool.
dark,
I
but
mean,
happy place.
happy place.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly.
So you directed Layers of Lies and many other things, and you've done so many things, so many martial arts experience and action experience, and like watching Layers of Lies, especially that like there are two scenes in Layers of Lies that really like blew me away. One was in the car shop, and the second one was
Yeah.
at the alleyway with the bike rider.
Oh
That
yeah, 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 yeah.
that
The
one,
alleyway.
that
I
one,
have a funny story about the alley fight, but
please do.
okay. So when we did the alley fight, it was our first fight scene uh, after 4 years, because this film was so many times start and then finish, start and finish shooting because of various problems, which we can maybe go deeper later. But it was something to do with arresting, me breaking my leg, the cast changing, me getting COVID, me getting banned from country. So many stuff. So we start, finish. So the last time we started shooting, it was 2021 around COVID, and back then Tehran was in a red zone. So there was um, lot of COVID cases back then. So we started shooting, and on a fifth day. So imagine getting after so many years, everybody back together, the crew back together, the Finland crew, the Australian cinematographer, everybody was in Tehran. And I was like, yes, we shot for 5 days, and now was the first action day. After many years, we started the scene, the alley fight. So the guy who fought me in the alleyway was my AD, first assistant director. He was my student, Pepe Karai, who had many roles in the film. I had the helmet because I couldn't find a stunt person to do that fight with me. Then we had Pepe Karai do that fight scene. So he put the helmet on. We practiced the scene in the day because, as you know, as a filmmaker and especially indie filmmaker, when you don't have money, it means you don't have much time for rehearsal. So we find the alley the same day, we rehearsed the fight scene the same day, and we shot the scene. So here comes the funny part. Well, now it's funny. Back then it wasn't that funny. I come home to the office, and Pepe comes to me and says, Shifu, is your body hurting? I say, yes. It's not normal because we do stunts every day and our body doesn't usually hurt. And I was like, do you have hard time breathing? Say, yes. I said, okay. So we brought him The doctors, they did a test, and yeah, we have COVID. So we were doing the whole alley fight, having COVID and not knowing about it, and sweating, being out of breath. And imagine Pepe in that helmet doing all that fight while having COVID. So so
I honestly don't want to. That sounds like a torture. Holy
yeah,
cow!
it was painful, but to be honest, so many people told me that was one of their favorite fight scene in the
It was,
movie, and I can say that we put our soul, our everything we had into that fight, and I'm happy it came out like that.
dude. That fight had so many amazing elements to it. Like there's a few things you learn as a action film festival director. Watching so many film festivals,
Yes, yeah.
films that have been sent and everything. And besides the fact I grew up on Van Damme and
Oh
Seagal
yeah,
and
yeah, yeah.
Dope and everything, so I fell in love with that. And I saw it's the camera work is amazing. The like it just captures like everything, the geography, the reaction, everything is just was built so really nicely. And then like I said, the garage scene as well. It's just so badass that you just like boom, they throw everything at them, and the little tunnel on the
Oh yeah,
bottom.
yeah. The inside where
Yeah,
we tried to use a little bit Wing Chun and like because tight space just to get that. But like that fight scene, the funny story was so in the movie, I was supposed to, as a character, find these gangsters or bad people in the car garage spot. So the first time we shot that scene was back in 2018, and I did the garage fight. So what happened in the garage fight? I broke my leg. So there's a movement I did in the garage. I broke my leg. So you could imagine after the alley fight, we were I was hospitalized for 2 weeks. We shut down for 21 days, and we started the movie, the shootings again. And my AD asked me, what what would be the scene you want to start with? And I said, we have to start with the action scene that ended us back in 2018. So we need to go to garage. And Aaron, for the very first time, I was so nervous because 3 years ago in that same garage, I broke my leg. And now I had to do another fight coming out of 2 weeks of hospitalizing with COVID. So you could imagine that I was so nervous getting everything right because I knew if I can get through that scene in terms of action, not only I knew I'm going to make my film, but I knew that I've overcome the fear I had for that scene. So every fight scene in the movie, which I feel that that was the reason when you watch as a festival like director, you see the effort. Like when action movies fight scene was just done in 5 minutes, didn't think of they just wanted the scene to over.
yeah, yeah.
But you see, because you see so many action movies, you see which scenes almost kill the filmmaker. You know what I mean? Like you really feel the struggle, and I think that's the importance of film festivals, because if they can find those individual filmmakers who really put everything in their power to create these scenes, that's when the film festivals are the place where we can actually go like, yes, we did that. And I get to talk about this because otherwise nobody knew. Nobody knew that I did a fight scene while having a COVID-19. The doctors told me, you're going to die. Your lungs are like 60 or 70% gone. Your heart is beating so fast. And the funny part was that, Aaron, when I was in hospital for 2 weeks, my Iranian producer comes in and says, like crying, says that, Ramin, I'm so sorry you did not get your movie but we don't have money and we have to shut down. All these hospital bills, we cannot continue filming. So I was working on the screenplay as lying on the hospital trying to survive the freaking COVID. And I remember the doctors coming in and telling me, like, Ramin, you need to stop working. Do you understand your life is in danger because you need to just rest rather than working on the screenplay? And I told the doctor, if I don't make this movie, I I just die because I don't care about it that much. It was a stupid thing to say back then, but it pushed me to make choices that if those plans worked out, I could still have my movie while lying in the hospital. And if you remember the last 30 minutes of the film with the construction site and all the fights, and you saw all the SWAT team, police, and everybody. So we were originally planned to shoot that all that 30 minutes in 14 days. That was the plan. Go from the top level down, down, bring the cops, do the fight scenes, do the dialogues, all of that. So I cut some scenes out and I made a plan to shoot the whole 30 minutes of the movie in 6 days, which my producers, my crew member, everybody said, you are crazy. Nobody has done it. We can't do it. 6 days is not enough. Da da da, di da da. But day after day, we got whatever I planned in the hospital to take in order to have the last climax of the movie. And it was just me honestly not giving up in terms of like I had a vision, I just needed to put it on the paper or say it out loud in order to manifest it to happen. And in that position, nobody, like, it's so hard when you are facing so much backlash and problems, and you know this because you also make films and you understand that it's not one problem. Like, one problem creates 10 more problems after that, and
Yeah.
when you solve the one problem, there's like 19 more problems on your way. So you're trying to figure out, like, how can I get through this? And I found, like, to be honest, this movie taught me so much about manifesting, so much about energy, frequency, all of that, which sometimes when I was younger, I was like, what is this frequency, frequency, energy, energy? What is this? Who uses this? But when I was in jail, in hospital, broken leg, no money, COVID, all of that, manifestation was the only thing that gave me hope to not give up, because I could already see the movie. I could see the festivals. I could see me watching the film in front of 600 people in Finland, in my home country, or in Iran, all of that. So there was that was the reason I never gave up. So I could already see the end product, which at some points are hard, but they are necessary. So I think that was the key for it. But as you see, every fight scene has its own story.
It's the again, like one of the most difficult part in, especially in longer fight scenes, and you know it more than I do because you did it more than I'm just a fan, honestly. This is my
Thank you,
excuse
thank
to
you,
hang
thank
around people who make.
you.
But this is like geography is so difficult to establish in a long fight scene
Mm,
because you need to make clear where they are constantly, where every character is, so it's not confusing, not constantly breaking the 180, keeping it
yeah.
consistent, making the hits count and visible, all that kind of stuff, and it's there. And it's
Mm,
there. I watched it once and I watched it twice, and then we watched it on the big screen. And every time I watched it, there was little moments I was waiting for because you like um I'm a big believer of like a movie can be whatever, but if it has five fuck yeah moments, it's a great movie. Like when
that's a very good point.
yeah,
That's a
it's
very
like
good point. I
it's
have
like
to.
yeah, it's like not every moment has to be that moment, but like that one, you watch a whole movie just for that one moment. It's like
Yeah,
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 and
yeah.
you had those moments, and it was so exciting to watch it. It was like, And like you said, it was visible on screen how much blood, sweat, guts, lungs,
Broken bones,
broken
lungs,
bones,
COVID, all of it.
whatever
Yeah.
else you left it there. It was there on set, it was there on the
Yes.
editing room, probably
Yes.
on the paper, and it was so impressive. And I'm like, I gotta talk to this guy. I gotta it's this is and I'm following you now on social media. I see like the progress and I see the growth, and it's I cannot wait what you do next. But I really want to go back and kind of like, how did you get into film?
So basically, when I was 4 or 5 years old, I started with martial art, and my own father was my teacher.
Hmm.
So from the very young age, actually, I posted this one clip of me when I was 5 years old playing a role in a Persian movie, an Iranian movie. So I was already acting when I was very little, and I was having martial arts shows around Iran. And these all happened when I was 4 years to like 5, 6 years old. And it's so funny because I still have some of those pictures. Like there were football stadiums full of people, and these are the stuff that my dad told me later, because my dad has a lot of followings in Iran. He brought Shaolin Kung Fu to
Oh
Iran
wow.
in the 70s, and he actually studied for 5 years in Shaolin Temple to be the only Iranian to get his red belt. And when he brought the Kung Fu Wushu to Iran, he told me stories where he went to every house in the neighborhood, knocked, and showed his pictures from Shaolin Temple and told them, like, if you want, I can teach you this art called Shaolin Wushu. And it was so funny because after 30 years, it's very like strange. The son comes back and brings action cinema to Iran. It's
That's
funny that our
amazing.
family is responsible of so much martial art and action films in there. But yeah, so my father was my beginning in martial arts, and then when we moved to Finland, I start doing like shows, and I entered Finnish Got Talent, and actually got to the finals, and then used that momentum to move to Los Angeles, study in Stella Adler acting school, to only realize that I really love creating, I really love directing. And funny part is that Layers of Lies wasn't supposed to be directed by me, nor produced by me, or wrote by me. I was supposed to just act in it because I spent so much money in that acting school that I was like, at least I have to act in something. So that was the whole idea of Layers of Lies. It started from there. But slowly, when I got more into it, and a lot of um, directors came and went, and we were trying to figure out, actually ask, do you know that director who did Undistributable, I'm sorry, with
Undisputed?
yeah, Undistributed, for with Isaac, I don't remember his last name, but he directed that movie, and he did a lot of stuff with Scott Atkins. And I asked him, like, hey, would you want to come and direct this movie, which he was very excited about to come, but of course, because of the politics, he couldn't travel to Iran, which was like, oh my god. Then I found another director and another director. It wasn't until 2017 that when I directed the short called Violin, that ended up in Busan Film Festival in South Korea, which was like, for me, I was like, oh my god, like I made a short film in a weekend that is playing now in South Korea, and they're flying me in, and like, this is, what is this? So it was very new to me. And I remember when I showed that short film, there was like maybe 400 South Koreans in the cinema and some others, and they all start clapping, and I, for the very first time, realized that, oh my god, I might actually direct Layers of Lies. So I called my producer in Iran, who wasn't the producer. He was actually a line producer who was helping me find the director and producer. And I called him from South Korea the night they showed Violin. And I said, Mohsen, how, first of all, if I direct this movie and if you produce, would you stand by me until we make this film and don't give up no matter what? He was like, I haven't produced movie. I'm a line producer. I say, I haven't directed before. This is my first. This is your first. But if you believe in me, I'll believe in you, and we'll make this film. And that's where our journey started. Oh, and I also told him, like, I only have $80,000. Can we make a movie with $80,000? This was like 6, 7 years ago. And he was like, we'll make it work. Don't worry, we'll make it work. And of course, I didn't have 80,000. I just say a number. We never had the money to actually make the film. You know, when this is the actual way of making movies, where you get the sales agent, distributor, get the MG, get some money, get the investment. Now you have some money in the bank account, and now you start. No, we did it backward. We started and we were waiting when the money comes so we can continue. And that was the journey that I then became the director of Layers of Lies. And yeah, it was a so so it wasn't like I'm gonna be a director. It was like universe guiding me to become the filmmaker I'm today. So thankful for that.
That's amazing.
Thank
I
you.
look, I as a director to director, it's never you never think you can do it until you do it, and then when you do it,
Yeah.
it's like, why
Yeah.
didn't I think about this before? Like, why do I outsource? So yeah, I get it. You did an amazing work, man. I honestly cannot have enough praise for what you've done.
Thank
I
you. Thank
honestly,
you so
and
much. But
because I know how hard it is. A, because it's an action movie. B, it's like you took it to Tehran and you did like a multi-continental movie
yeah,
and you brought something very unique to there. It's like, and I'm very familiar with that too, with Israel. They don't do action movies there either, and I'm like, I really wanted to make that change, but that will come maybe in the future. But it's kind of like you have this passion and you just went with it, and
no, I think it was something that well, I don't know what you want to call it, the universe, God, whoever, whatever people want to call it, it's fine. But somebody put that vision in my head. Because how could I ever imagine to be the only Iranian action director who goes back to his homeland, makes a movie after many, many decades? The last action movie, well, action, I say it's a, well, you know what I mean. Like action movie was maybe 50 years ago, 40 years ago in Iran. And it was a genre that died. 100 million Persians, Iranians around the world, 90 million in Iran, and nobody makes action. It's crazy. It's so crazy. And what you say, like, there's no action Israeli action movies. If you already said it out loud, I think somebody put it in your head, so you need to do it because
oh,
otherwise
it's
nobody
gonna
else
happen.
will do it. You know?
It's gonna happen. It's inevitable. But I'm
Yeah.
just what I'm saying. It's like I admire your journey,
Thank you.
and I'm very um, inspired by it. And I told you that when we were changing the emails, like I'm really inspired by your journey, and I really want to hear about it more. And now that I have another information, if you're willing, so you went to prison?
Yeah. So there was a lot of problem with the. Oh my God. So you remember that car in the movie in that nice mansion? There's this American car that comes in the front. So I drove that car from Finland all the way to Iran through Europe. And it took me about 6, 7 days. And the reason I did that is that Iran at the time didn't have all the camera equipments that I needed to shoot my movie. And for me to get all that equipment to Iran, I had to pay a deposit, which is usually 50% value of that product in the country, like let's say I put it in Finland and I get a card called carnet de page or something like that. So I have a permission to take the equipment to Iran. And when I bring them back, I get my deposit back. The problem was I never had the deposit money. And what I did, I took, it was my mom's car. I said, Mom, can I borrow your car to go to Iran? And she was so sweet. She said, of course, take it. So I put all the camera equipment, all the gels, everything that we can find to put in this car, and I start driving to Iran. So of course, in the Turkey-Iran border, so they stopped me in Iran border and said, "Yeah, you cannot enter the country." And the reason was, A, the car was an American car. B, it was a 3-liter motor, so which means that it would be very like powerful machine in Iran. And if I cops want to pull me over, they couldn't. So there were so many reasons they couldn't let me in. So Aaron, guess how I got an American car with no Iranian registration into Iran? It was when I offered the officer that I let you play a part in my movie if you let me pass, because my whole life is in that car. And if I don't get it through, I might just stay here. I'm not going to go back. I'm not
Yes.
going to drive back to Finland. So he told me, okay, you can go, but like I cannot give you Iranian registration number. I say that's fine. So I drive from Turkey Iran border with the Finnish license plate to Tehran. And when I do that, I called the Finnish ambassador and I said, I need you to write me a letter that says this car is for Layers of Lies movie. It's a Finnish Iranian co-production, so you cannot do anything with me. So every time I got pulled over by cops, they say, what is this registration? What is FIN? I say, it's from Finland. We are doing a movie. This is a letter from ambassador. And they say, okay, cool. Can we take a couple of pictures with you? So anyway, long story short, 3 years, when my leg broke, I left the car there to come to Finland to do the surgery and everything. So 3 years passed. And 2021, when I go back to shoot the movie, as soon as I brought it out of the garage, woo woo, cops stopped me. They pulled me over. They arrested me, and they put a bail on me. Guess how many $1,000?
5, 10.
$80,000. And this was 3 days before we were starting to shoot, 2021. I was in a jail, $80,000 my bail. And 3 days from that day, I'm supposed to say camera, light, action. It was crazy. I'm telling you, I was, I was like, God, are you serious? You brought me
Ramin,
all the way from
please,
Finland to arrest me. But yeah,
please tell me you did a documentary about your making of this movie.
to be honest, I really want to do that. I really want to do that, but I'm still waiting a little bit to find the right team to do that for me, because it's a long story, starting from when I was 4 or 5 years old, starting about us being the like around the first Iranians who moved to Finland. And we went, I don't know why they did this, but as soon as we landed to Helsinki, they took us to Ruki, near Santa Claus. It was so dark, so cold, so much snow, and now we had to rebuild our life. And then going from there to Hollywood, and from there back to Iran to make them. So there's so much happening in this journey to make this action film, that I would guess that the documentary would be much more interesting than the film.
There is way more action in what the story that you're
Yeah,
telling me than the
absolutely.
movie. It's funny.
Yeah.
It's amazing. It's like it's almost like a spy movie. You gotta
Yeah,
drive
yeah.
from there, and then you're like, oh, I gotta call the embassy. The cops take photos with you. You break the leg.
Yeah,
What
it
an
was so
amazing story,
crazy.
man. That's crazy.
Yeah, every moment of that film, Aaron has a story, and I'm happy that I get to talk to you, get to put it in festivals, do podcasts, do interviews, because those are the stories that, if not the film, but those stories will inspire not only people who listen to this or whatever we say about this process, but it inspires me not to give up, because this is like, the reason I'm talking about these is because when I was in hospital, I say, no, I can do it in 6 days. Or when I broke my leg, I say, no, let's put a casket and we need 2 more days of shooting. I'll take all the pain, but I need that actor to finish his scenes, because if I go to Finland and I come back, I don't know when I'm going to come back. So all those sacrifices made me to come to this point where I can tell those stories and hopefully inspire people to just don't give up, because everybody will say no. Everybody will say no, you can't. This is never done. But if it's never done, then how could people know, can you do it or can you not? It's just a risk you have to take.
Yes, it is. And there's nobody else who's gonna do it for you.
No, nobody's gonna do,
Nobody's
like,
gonna
at the
do it
end of
for
the
you.
day, you have to do it, which is fine, because when you do it yourself, you're not gonna complain to yourself. You're just gonna do it. But when other people start doing, they complain so much that just that complaint, it's just, I'll do it. I'll take all the responsibility, all the shame, all the glory, everything that comes out of this beautiful life or project or whatever it is, I get to experience myself. So I'm happy that those moments defined what kind of a man I'm going to become at the end of it. Because the Ramin that started this 15 years ago was totally different person. Was totally different person. So filmmaking is not just making films for others that influence other people or inspire other people. It's for us too. It's for me as a filmmaker to inspire myself, to don't give up, to speak to people. Like today, I was in this conference, and this young British guy comes to me. He loves making action, movies, and he was just, he was me 15 years ago. And you don't know the feeling that after 15 years ago, I am saying to him few things that could win him years of work, years of like going wrong direction, just by saying a couple of things. And I wish somebody would have been back then that would have told me those. But my mission is now try to pass on whatever I learned from all of this, because
You're a,
who, at the end of the day, Aaron, movies are movies, they will be there, but what happens when you do that, when you accomplish that, when you have a dream, you get to do that, all of that. Those are the moments that define that our life. Like, what is my, if I die tomorrow, I will die happy because I overcame myself. You know what I mean? Like it took everything, but it gave me also everything. If it makes sense.
I mean, it makes a lot of sense, man.
Yeah.
And I think it sounds like you're a CFO before you're a filmmaker. Um,
Yeah, but it
that
helped. Like martial art, oh my God, the discipline, the mentality, the trainings, all of that. Like, I, to be honest, I think martial art should be in every school in everywhere in the
100%.
world.
100%.
It's part of life, it's part of discipline, it's part of being humble. Like martial art, like if you see a lot of action people, oh, so many of them are humble. So many. The
Yeah.
true martial artists that come from martial artist background are very humble. I don't know about these like come and straight go to doing stunts. Don't know about those.
No,
But
no,
the
the
martial artists, the
stunts are
actual
also
martial artists, they are humble. they respect people, they have big ambition, passion. But yeah, martial art does that.
Yep, I agree with you.
Mm.
That's how all I've experienced. I've been working before, like what was it, 7 years ago, 6 years ago. I was working in a martial arts gym with one of the best kickboxing teacher I've ever met in my life. He was the craziest person I've ever met, but also the most talented teacher I've ever met in my life. And martial arts was just like, as much as it was slightly more like differently oriented than the classical rules of martial arts,
Yeah.
the basics of the physical respect and the activity and what it takes to do good and what it takes, it was, I mean, I wish somebody would do that, what you're saying, and put martial arts in every school and
Mm.
allow that philosophy and that perspective to grow, not only on the inside but also on the body, because it's
No,
kind of
but I feel like I feel we are contributing to martial art community by
we are.
you doing films, me doing films, you do festivals, events, everything and anything that can promote martial art is helpful for society everywhere. It's
Yeah,
like you don't see uh, angry martial artists. Like they're very balanced in a way.
yeah.
And I feel us doing what we do is helping the community, the martial arts community, because now that my movie is playing in Iran movie theaters, I get every day I get messages, and which is like so beautiful. The messages which has been the most nice to me has been about females who write, because of your movie I am starting taekwondo, I'm starting kung fu, I'm doing karate, like all of this because they got inspired by the movie I made, and now they're going to gym, they're having a healthier life, healthier mind, meditating, all of that. So in a way I feel we are helping the martial art community.
I mean, I don't even know how many gyms, martial arts, or whatever else were open just by having Bruce Lee on a screen. And ever
That's
since,
it, yeah.
every year when there's a tournament, like I bet when Warrior came out or when Red Belt came out, people watching, oh, I gotta get into jiu-jitsu. This looks cool. This looks fun. This is so it's kind of like, or even Steven Seagal, like with all of his shenanigans, when he
Mm.
came out and everybody saw like Aikido and the movement, it's
Yeah, any
inspiring.
any like that's the thing. Anybody who brought anything, and I don't care how good, how bad, how funny, how dark, anything, it just promotes the martial art community and people to do that more. And then people can enjoy it. It's very nostalgic. Like even now, when I get some messages from old, like not so old, but like 60, 70-year old, they've watched the film and they start talking about their younger years when they used to do martial arts. And that's so beautiful because martial art will not go away. It will,
No.
like, martial art will sustain everything. It will, like, whatever happen in this world, martial art will stay forever.
And it is
And
a true art.
yeah, it's
It is
art.
a true
Yeah,
art.
definitely.
I mean, I don't know. I don't know about anybody else, but a beautiful Mwashigiri is a beautiful Mwashigiri.
Yeah.
And when it's done beautifully and it's just slowly, nicely
Yeah.
caressed with a little movement, yeah. Show
Yeah.
me. It's just same as ballet or dancing.
Yeah, yeah, definitely, definitely. No, no. I mean, in that sense, you're absolutely right. But yeah, it's all about like I just love when the martial art and stunt and action filmmaking community come together and do something to promote it, because here's the thing, there is too few of us to compete. Do you know what I mean? Like there's not so many action people that we would compare. We are so small community still
For
that
now.
yes, if we work together, if we promote each other, if any, let's say a martial art movie from Canada comes out, I, as a martial artist, fellow action filmmaker, need to promote it to anybody who I know So you can convince your people to make more, to hire more, to get more people involved. So it's all about like supporting each other. But like, I don't know, it's just this is just me. I'm
No, it's not just you. It's definitely not just you.
uh,
It's like the once you have a taste of the way of life, and once you have a taste of how it contributes to your life, even to like throughout the years, you look back and like, oh, these values that were implemented in me when I was doing this and this play such an important part in the way I am and who I am today. And the second you realize that all the perspective and all the respect and appreciation that you have towards the martial arts, it just comes up, it just bubbles up. It's unavoidable. Like I didn't do as much martial arts as I wanted to, but the amount I did and what I did really implemented a lot, not just in here, but also physically. And I noticed that my posture is completely different than
yeah,
because I'm able to do it. I was,
yeah,
so all those little things, they just, and what you do, what we aim to do as a festival, what you do as a filmmaker, what everybody else is bringing. Yeah, it's a awareness and b the cool aspect of it, because in the end
yeah,
of the day, the rule of cool wins always. And,
yeah.
so what's the next thing you're doing? I
Okay, so there is a couple of projects I'm working on. Um, I have one very exciting project coming in Thailand, which
oh,
I'm so excited because unfortunately I cannot share too much who is involved. But Aaron, the team I have now in Thailand,
Tony
I'm
Jaa.
telling you, it will go crazy.
Oh
The
man, that
action will look crazy. And and I tell you this because as you know, in Layers of Lies, again, I'm not looking for pity points, but no budget, no professional stunt team, or no crew that has done action before. So imagine now in Thailand, I get a professional crew who has done action, an actual stunt team, like a stunt
and in
team
Thailand.
in Thailand, and a proper budget. So I get the chance to make the film I really want to make. So that's one project I'm very excited about. And then another project which is very interesting. Uh, we are remaking Layers of Flies, but the US version.
Oh,
Yes. So
okay.
the US version,
Yes,
which
I
is
actually wanted to ask you about it. Is it going to be remade with like proper budget and proper time?
yes,
Yes, good.
yes, proper budget, name cast, good locations, everything you see these big studios have in action films, we are trying to push that for the US version. And it's so much fun because now it's not like me trying to go like, hey, I want to make action films. No, no, no. I'm like, hey, we did a proof of concept. It's Layers of Lies. We already did it. It's done. We did it. We know how to do it. Now we want to make it the proper one, a US version one, fully English, lot of action, lot of corruption, lot of everything I couldn't do in Iran. Now I'll do it in US.
I can't wait.
Yeah,
I
it's
can't
gonna
wait,
be a
man.
fun project.
That's it. That congratulations. This is
Thank
so
you.
cool.
Thank you. So
I
yeah, so those are the two projects I'm very excited about. But there's some few others that we are developing, and also last year I did the short film called "We Are Home," which I shot in Prague. I have to send you that one.
I would love to.
It's a short film we did we did it with the South Korean company Zine. They do lenses, so they wanted to do like a lens test video. They didn't have
Oh,
much budget, but they wanted to do a lens test. You know those boring ones where you do the charts and do sun and all of that. So I suggested to them, why don't you do a short film and we put scenes that would put your lens in test in actual shooting environment, like how would you shoot with these lenses? So we did the short film. They loved it. I actually now submitted it to Bucheon Film Festival, the South Korea one with the violin. So I put it there. We already sent it to film festival. It already won cinematographer. It already won best director. And yeah, it's a 6 minute fun, futuristic short film that also tested the lenses.
Yeah,
So
let's send
so
it.
yeah,
I'd
yeah,
love to watch
absolutely.
it.
I'll send that one to you. But yeah, there are some projects I'm trying to figure out which one we get to do first. But yeah, the US version of Layers of Lies and the Bangkok, Thailand action movie. Yeah, it's
Dude,
fun.
making a movie in after watching Ong Bak and Tom Yum Gong, I don't know if you
Mm,
watch those. I mean, of course you
yes.
watch those movies. Why am I?
Actually, I met Tony Jaa about 2 months ago. 2 months ago, yeah.
What a
I
guy.
told him, I told him I'm coming to your homeland to shoot a movie. Then he was like, "Hey, use my team."
He's he's an amazing athlete. I was blown away
Amazing.
from what he was
Yeah,
doing, man. Like I think I watched Ong Bak like 100 times. I don't know. I'm not even exaggerating. And Tom Yum Gong even more.
yeah.
And his
No, no, no.
body.
He's amazing. And I remember Phil Tan. He introduced me to him. We were in the event. He it was funny. He said like he's like you, like you. And I'm like with the Tony. I'm like no, 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 no. Nobody's like
Nobody's
you.
like Tony.
Anybody after you is copy paste, copy paste.
Nobody's like Tony. Nobody was like, not even
Yeah,
like, yeah.
yeah.
All
No,
right.
but he was very respectful, very funny guy, very nice guy. But anyways, those are the projects, and who knows, maybe in future we do something in Canada. You never know. That's
I
that's
I
the
don't think
beauty
it's
of
a
this
maybe,
life.
Ramin. I don't think it's a maybe.
No, I think it's gonna happen.
It's gonna happen.
Yeah, we have
Definitely
to
gonna
do
happen.
it.
We need
Actually,
listen,
yeah,
Canada has the most amazing stunt team, but
yeah, I heard, I
and
heard,
they're not
absolutely.
but they're not making enough action movies because I mean it costs a lot of money, takes a lot of
But
time.
but here's the thing, Aaron. If you know what you're doing, it doesn't cost that much. I don't know who put that rumor that action doesn't cost that much.
When you're working with union people, it has
Ah, okay, yeah. I was
certain
counting the Asia.
yeah.
I
So
was around the Bangkok and
I
Tehran.
know, I know. No, but like when you like I filmed something last year, and so like because we did it union, you need to do union budget, you need to do insurance, you need to do up of the insurance about. So it basically inflates everything at least
Yeah, yeah,
25-30% just by making that. If you go in non-union, yeah, you have so much flexibility.
or
But
you do what I did with Layers of Lies. You shoot like 90% of the movie in Guatemala or Mexico or like Thailand or wherever, and then come for a weekend, shoot in Toronto. So it becomes a co-production. You
I'm
get a lot of benefits out there,
we're
and you still get the Canadian.
we're gonna mute this part so they don't find out.
Now we start seeing Canadian crew in Bangkok and
Oh, there's a lot. There's a lot.
yeah,
There's
yeah.
a lot. Like the crew from Vancouver, for example, they've done Marco Polo and they've
Oh
done
no, yeah,
True
yeah, yeah,
Bone. Like they've been like they're such an amazing team. And team here, all the Amazon shows, The Boys,
yeah, yeah,
American
yeah,
God. So that those are the teams, man. Like the stunt
yeah.
teams here are amazing. The action design, the action teams here are amazing. They just need slightly more push. That's
Mm.
where I hopefully come in to make them wanna make more movies.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
With the financial cost that it costs, but we'll see. Four
Absolutely.
questions. Favorite movie of action or one of your favorite action movies that like obscure. So basically something that most people have not seen.
So, a favorite movie that most people haven't seen.
Like of
Um,
action.
there was this one movie that was made in Thailand. I don't remember the name of it. Oh my God. It was so good. They had this one stunt where two trucks goes side by side, and one of the guy like hits the walls of the truck as they are speeding, and his head was this close to the tires. The stunts in that movie was so crazy, and no like wires, nothing like that. Like you can feel. I have to
Why
send you
not?
that movie.
I would love to. I would
Yeah.
love to.
But in
Yeah,
terms of like more modern films, I like John Wick's first one, Extraction. It had nice moments. The Raid had nice moments. So every action film had its own nice moment. Jason Bourne had his moment. So I would say my favorite action movies are the ones that influenced the action cinema. Not the generic ones. Like when Jason Bourne came, everybody was like, "Oh, we need to make a Jason Bourne movie. Is this like a Jason Bourne movie?" When John Wick came, "Oh, is this is John Wick? This is John Wick." When
Matrix.
the Raid came, yeah, it's the Raid. They go to building, they come out. Like all the action movies that influence the action cinema are my favorite because I want to be one of those influencers in the future.
You are. You already are, man. I no, seriously. I bet there is some kid out there in Iran or in Finland watching it, and it's like, if this guy can do it, I can do it. Because
Yeah,
in the end of the day, in order to become a filmmaker, you have to be a little bit of, you have to have a big ego and say, yeah, I can do this. I can
yeah,
do this.
yeah,
Slight delusion of grandeur, and then you find out it has nothing to do with it. You just need to continue doing it.
yeah,
You
yeah,
didn't
yeah.
make it, but
Okay.
I know, I bet you did that effect at those places. Who's your inspiration?
Mm, oh my God, my inspiration. Well, I want to say Jackie Chan because I respect him for just simply didn't give up. I think that was his secret in life. He just didn't give up. Whatever was happening, he just keep going, keep going. Good, bad, mediocre, best, worst. He just keep going. And if a man can go through all of that, I went through one film, but if a man can go through all of that and still smile, you just have to respect and admire that person.
Yeah, especially his upbringing, right? Being part
Yes.
of the Chinese circus and like what they were doing
I
to
have
the kids. That's
so much
crazy.
stuff. Yeah, so much stuff.
Crazy. Yeah, he's an amazing story. They're gonna make a movie about him, and we're all gonna watch it
Yeah,
one
definitely.
day.
I'm waiting for that.
Um, and your favorite stunt
Like overall favorite stunt?
overall, your favorite stunt or action scene,
Mm, I
or
think it's
one of them.
it's the truck thing. Man,
Oh,
you need to Aaron see that. Like
Stanley.
it was so like I was like, how? How did they do that? Because I know back then there wasn't so much special effect.
I
So
can tell you how. There is no regulations. That's how.
yeah, I think so too. It's like they just yeah, who can do it? I can do it.
Yeah, here's extra 100. That's what what's his name does. Donnie Yen. He
Oh
pays
yeah,
extra and he punches
it
people
gives
in the face.
yeah, it gives extra.
Yeah,
Oh
yeah.
my god.
Ramin, I cannot wait to see what else comes from you, man. Like
Oh, thank you
seriously,
so much. Thank you
seriously,
so
man. This
much.
has been I want to do this again. I want to find out more what you're doing. Hopefully,
Absolutely. And
hopefully.
I want to find out you're cooking something.
Oh, we're cooking something
You're
huge.
cooking something. I know,
We're cooking
which I'm
something huge,
excited.
man.
Yeah, and
We're-
if there is anything I could do or contribute to or help in any way or shape, just let me know.
I will take you up on that.
Yeah, I love you guys to work with you, and as you said, not maybe, but we'll
Not a
know
maybe.
that will definitely work because our community is small and we need more people like you and me to work together.
It's not a maybe, and it's a definite. And
Definitely, definitely.